What was great advice 20 years ago, but definitely isn't now. In high school, as part of one of my classes, they brought in a lady who worked HR for some recruiting firm for a few days to teach us how to do resumes and cover letters and such. She told us even if a place has an option to appeal online, always go in person and pick up an application. No one takes online applications seriously. Buy Yahoo stock. My dad told me once, son, you shouldn't schedule a single vacation day the first year of your job. It shows you're committed. I straight up told them I had a holiday booked 6 months down the line and if that's cool. They were like, sure, tell me a month beforehand. Worked pretty well. Don't forget to print out your directions from MapQuest before you leave. Though, it still makes sense, download maps before you set out. You need to memorize this cause you won't have the info accessible later. The most important skill isn't knowing the right answer, it's knowing how to find out the right answer. And that's gotten much easier. Generic dating advice. People always wonder how some people get to be so creepy, but they forgot that they've been brought up by a generation who thought the best way to get a woman was aggressive flirting techniques, actual stalking, and being overly possessive. Getting a diploma will secure your life. You're searching for a soulmate on the internet? Lord, you must be insane. To look after your phone battery, you should let it go all the way down to 0% and then charge fully to 100%. Get an ARM loan on your house. Values go up like 10 to 20% each year, and by the time the load adjusts, flip that house for a sweet profit. Buy that house. Sure, it seems weird that you qualified for such a high home loan, but I'm sure they wouldn't offer it to you if you couldn't afford it. When you dial collect on the pay phone, just say where you are, what time you need a ride, then hang up as not to get charged. To this day, my mom believes the way to appeal for any job is to walk in and hand your future boss your paper resume. Whether or not they're actively hiring. She's not even 60 yet, but calls anyone who appeals online a lazy piece of, and she doesn't believe I have an actual job because I work from home. She just hates computers. My dad used to think this, then I appealed for his job and showed him all the steps. All he had to do was show up on time and promise not to be didn't even need a suit. The application I took was about 6 pages of writing, a long waiting list, multiple interviews, and a 6-month application ban if they do not say yes. Be loyal to your employer, because they will be loyal to you. Walk in, ask for the manager, and give a firm handshake. That's how you get the job. These days, you can walk in, ask for the manager, and he'll direct you to appeal online. Then you won't get any response, or you'll get one 6 months later when HR turns over and the new guy gets around to denying everyone who appealed. I once had a place call me almost 2 years after appealing if I could come in for an interview. I remember when my dad told me as a teenager to never be the one to pursue a guy, because I'm a woman. Maybe that was to keep me safe in my youth, but I've since come to realize that most of the dudes who are worth being with are either shy or oblivious, and I have no choice but to make the first move. I'm going to admit I'm absolutely terrible at distinguishing if a woman is just being friendly with me or is actually into me, and I think it's the same for a lot of guys. I generally assume a woman is just being friendly, as I'd rather be wrong about that than potentially creep a woman out who's only being nice. So I really appreciate when women make the first move. I was ready to answer this until I realized 20 years ago was 2002 and not 1992. Spending whole day on the internet would never make you successful in life. Never meet someone from the internet. Everyone needs a college degree. Trade school is absolutely the way to go for some people, myself included. And I did both. 20 years ago, don't meet up with people you met on the internet, and don't get in cars with strangers. Today, get into the car with a stranger that you've summoned to your house using the internet. Get into teaching. You get summers off and good benefits. If you ever travel back in time, don't touch anything. Stay away from the guy walking down the street having a full conversation with nobody. Now it's just AirPods. I would still stay away from them. If you want a job, just walk into the place. You can rest when you are dead. In my opinion, the grind culture is harmful and leads to a lot of physical and mental illness. Stress-induced illnesses have never been as bad as it is right now. Burnouts have never been as high as they are now. Mental health is plummeting. I understand that in some countries you have no choice but to grind to survive, but in developed countries I do not think society should encourage that mentality. Stress is a disease and this society is sick. Putting your credit card information on the internet to buy things is dangerous. Don't get a job in programming because everything was getting outsourced to India. You won't always have a calculator in your pocket. Cut out fats from your diet because they make you fat. That a good education would guarantee high-paying jobs. Hey, thanks for subscribing and liking. It really means a lot to me. While you are here, feel free to hop on over to the last video. See you there. Ronnie.